did that to yourself? Oh, he's dedicated. What are you doing? What? Wait, no, that's the entire crowd. That's the entire audience. How powerful is he? Oh dear, how? What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben, and today I'll be reacting to The Legend of Korra, episode 9. Now, the last episode was just absolutely insane with throwing a bloodbender into the mix. I mean, things are bad with just Aang, but now you have Tarlok, who is a confirmed bloodbender in the government, and he's gaining more and more power. So that is just a whole nother mess of problems on top of everything. Yeah, then it also ended with Korra basically losing, and it was a lot of, like, wrong steps and sort of lack of judgment for her to go and do, going to intimidate Tarlok in the dead of night with no one around. That was a bad decision. Just intimidation in general was a bad decision, and now she's paying for it because she lost and she has been kidnapped, or whatever is Tarlok is planning to do to her. You got that whole stuff going on. I'm very interested to see what kind of development she can get from this, because she's lost. She's gone with the approach of fighting first, so now hopefully this can take her down a peg like she needs to do. Aang is not a guy that she can really fight. He's kind of almost reasonable. And Tarlok is just someone she can't fight either, because he can just take control of her body. So she has to start thinking differently, and hopefully this is the first step for her. So we've also got the whole thing with the memory vision thing that she's seeing in her head and how flashes of that are coming, and it started to build up in the last episode. So hopefully we'll get more on that and just see what's actually happening, because it's clear that Aang is trying to contact her, yet she is not spiritually there to be able to receive that message. So hopefully that can happen, and maybe we can have a conversation with Aang. Yeah, and then I guess on top of all of that, you also have Mako, Bolin and Asami all locked away because of the segregation that's now been introduced into the city. So there is so much going on, and I'm kind of hoping that we get to see what on earth Korra is going through, but also hopefully getting to see what Tenzin's doing, because he's the only one that's kind of in the city at the minute. I guess you have Lin, not really sure where she is, but Tenzin has to worry about so much now. Korra's missing. Her friends are in prison. Segregation in the city. It's a complete and utter nightmare. Yeah, I'm expecting this episode to go absolutely nuts. But yeah, as always, if you do enjoy this video, please remember to like and subscribe, as it really does help the channel to grow. And if you do enjoy my content and you want to help support the channel, I do have a Patreon. The link will be in the description. Over there, I'm uploading these videos and the full reaction a week in advance. If that's something you're interested in, feel free to check it out. With that said, let's just dive on in. Straight off to a really creepy vibe. That looks so painful. So he's just levitating it. Yeah, Hammer did that. Yeah, she did. She levitated Sokka and Aang to go and hurt each other. But how is this not dangerous? You'd assume, like, controlling blood like this and forcing people to rise because of it would, like, stop blood flow.
You can't keep me in here forever!
And he just locks on a metal box? He had that prepared. That thing has been made. Someone made that. He was planning this. How long has he been planning to do that to her? And it's just in the middle of nowhere. Where is this? Mountains, Earth Kingdom, but like we haven't snowy mountains. I don't think Aang even went to snowy mountains in the Earth Kingdom. Maybe the air temples?
Who is this? It's 6 in the morning. This better be important.
Councilman Tenzin here. What?
What, Korra gone missing? What is it? What is it? No, it's where... Oh, great, they're gonna frame Korra and make it look bad. Okay, what are you gonna say? Oh wow, he has played this well.
She was upset that I arrested her friends. She asked me to release them, and that's when the Equalists attacked.
There we go. Okay, so yeah, he's playing... Okay, adding a different thing in. So he's making Aang the enemy and saying that Aang's people who did this. Can Aang go against you? You did that to yourself? Oh, he's dedicated.
Mobilize the entire police force. We have to find the Avatar.
And the guy works basically for him, so you're never gonna find her.
Late last night, Equalists attacked City Hall, subduing Councilman Tarlok and capturing Avatar Korra.
Can Lin go find her? Tarlok can't control Lin. He doesn't even know she's around or doing stuff. Can she go find Korra? Is that what you're gonna do? Oh, okay. So your vigilante thing isn't just going straight after... Oh, that is such a cool way to put on the uniform! Oh, the badge. And you just rip it off. Yeah, I guess it's not uniform, it's armor. That is awesome.
Hope you got enough beauty rest. Come on, I'm busting you out.
Okay, awesome. So she's just... Okay, so... Oh, vigilante. So she's doing a lot. I guess she knows this place like the back of hand.
Done yet? Cover your ears. I can't go with you listening.
Really?
It's so good to see you. Hate to break up your lover's reunion, but Korra's in trouble.
Yes, get out and go find her.
No. No, she can't be gone.
Not gone, captured. You can find her. You lot are capable, and now you have Lin.
Your fly was down.
Ah!
Thanks for catching that.
Okay, that is skillful. This would be a great time for her to learn metal bending if she can.
Help! Please!
Is anyone here? Like, they've got to provide her with food and water, right? They can't just leave her in the box.
I urge you to meditate on these visions. I believe Aang's spirit is trying to tell you something.
Yes, good, okay. Good way to kill the time then, doing this. But you still need food and water. Is that not flashing? Okay.
I told you, I have this under control.
Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't...
The beard, he has a beard. He looks older. Toff's there. Ah.
Fine. Follow me, Twinkle Toes.
No.
I'm 40 years old. You think you can stop with the nickname?
Absolutely not. Okay, they're adults and Toff is a chief police person. I'm assuming chief of police, like her daughter is.
Used to be a man could enjoy his lunch in peace.
Her cone, that's who you said this person is.
We have dozens of witnesses, Yakone. We know what you are.
Take him away.
Is that the bloodbender that was in the trial?
To charge you yahoos have brought against me. And I'll beat this one too.
So is it illegal to be a bloodbender? What if he just doesn't use it, but if they have witnesses, he would, I guess, use it?
What are you trying to tell me? A way out of this box would be nice.
So is this your conversation with Aang? I want to actually see Aang and have you talk to him, like Roku and Kyoshi.
Call me back the minute you hear anything. Lin, what are you...
We need Naga. She can track Korra.
That is
Afraid
good.
her polar bear dog is missing as well.
Seriously? Wait, oh yeah, wait, no, the dog, she didn't take the dog inside. She told it to stay by a building. So maybe it's just lost in the city?
When those chi blockers had me in their truck, it sounded like we drove into a tunnel. I know where to start looking.
But they're going on the wrong trail. It wasn't chi blockers.
I bet that's where my officers are too.
Let's bring them all home, Lin.
They're not going to find her, are they? They're going after two different things. Tarlok, you evil genius. Now, I'm surprised Tenzin would be doing this, because he's, like, very important figure in Republic City, working with Lin, and if that gets out, because, like, she's a vigilante at the minute, that could look bad for him.
This way, kinda. Smells familiar.
I will never not love that. That is so cool.
There!
That's just a drain. Is that, like, an actual tunnel?
Korra has to be in there.
No, oh, it's a giant wild goose chase. You'll find, I guess, Aman's prisoners with Lin's police officers, but you won't find Korra.
Let's try this way.
And what if Korra's not down there?
Then we pick another tunnel until we find...
Don't split up, please. Okay, good. Staying together, good. Splitting up would be stupid.
Is Mako alright? He seems really worried about Korra.
Yeah, we all...
Don't read into it. Don't do relationship stuff. It's just...
Do you think he likes Korra as more than just a friend?
Bolin, say nothing. Don't get this started.
Just gossip. Where'd you hear that? Crazy talk is coming out of your mouth right.
You're so bad at this. Why?
Come on, spill it.
Nothing. I mean...
Oh, is he going to say?
There was this one time during the tournament when Mako and Korra kissed, but...
They kissed?
There we go.
Believe me, I was upset too, but I'm over it. I don't think it meant anything.
What's she going to do?
I doubt that.
She doesn't look angry. She looks more hurt and sad. I'm happy with that. Secrets. You can get it open. Awesome. But Korra isn't here. What are you going to find? It is so cool. I love how metal bending has progressed. Now being able to do this sort of stuff. This isn't even a lair. This is just like a car depot, isn't it?
That tram goes to the training camp.
Training camp. Their network is huge.
Everything was delivered to the prison, sir.
Prison. Aha, they have something, but Korra's not there.
We need to get down that tunnel.
I'm surprised Tenzin isn't even suspecting Tarlok of doing something. Why are you immediately trusting him? You know he's kind of evil and slimy with the whole segregation thing he's done. No one? Is this the prison or is this like a checkpoint?
It's empty. Yeah, I can see that.
And taken away into the darkness. Awesome. I just love how that's animated as well, showing the vibrations.
What about Korra? I don't see her yet.
She's not here. But yet, no, stop looking for her here, please. You got this, you got this. And what is the bowlers made of? Is it made of metal? And by any chance, is it just rope? I mean, maybe the weights are made of stone, so then earthbending can do something with that?
I'm too late. That monster already took your bending, didn't
I was going to ask, why didn't they bend the metal to get out and they took... Oh, great.
Come on, let's get you out of here.
He's done it to all of them. That is horrifying. So that's it. Wait, that's innocence. So Aman's crossed the line for me. He's taking away those guys bending. They weren't abusing it for evil.
Why would Tarlok make up a story about getting attacked?
Because he has Korra.
Finally.
Fooled us all.
Why? Okay, no, they found you. Great, so someone's woken up and pressed an alarm. Metal bending could work nice now. Can you cut the line that this is on from the back? That works too.
Try to T-block that, fools!
They can't get through that, right? That was a full-on cave-in. What's at the end of the tank? So many, and the tanks. Great. What are you doing? You're going up? Ooh, she's making tunnels like a mum! And you're just broken straight out of it. Amazing. Leg it. Still doing this. It's been a while now. Why can't we see Ghosty Aang sitting next to her?
Criminal empire for years, yet he has always managed to stay out of the law's reach.
Criminal empire.
By using an ability that has been illegal for decades.
So it's okay, so it's been illegal
Blood
before him. Soccer! Okay, yes, because you would remember Hammer.
Is built upon the make-believe notion that my client is able to bloodbend at will.
So people believe it exists, they just don't believe he can do it. Does that mean there's more people that have done it before?
Bloodbending is an incredibly rare skill. It can only be performed during a full moon. Yet,
he's smiling.
That my client used bloodbending at every other time, except during a full moon.
Oh, why did he avoid? I know, I believe he did it, but like, why did he avoid doing on a full moon? Why? So we now know there's a guy before Tarlok who had the same abilities.
Councilman Zuko will now deliver.
He was a councilman! Awesome!
I once bested a man with my trusty boomerang who was able to firebend with his mother.
Yes, that one was terrifying.
Even metal bending was considered impossible for all of history.
You met Hammer.
Until our esteemed chief of police single-handedly developed the...
Invented the whole thing.
That Yakone is one of these unique benders.
Excellent.
And he exploited his ability to commit these heinous...
He's not phased at all. He's not phased.
We find Yakone guilty of all charges and sentence him to life in prison.
Okay, so you don't have capital punishment. That's nice. And he's standing up. Okay, this is where things happen. Aang's hand toughed. His eye. Oh, that is creepy! What are you doing? What? No! What are you doing to all of them? And, okay, so wait, he wasn't just doing it to Toph, he was doing it to everyone here. That's 6 people. And 7, okay. Wait, no, that's the entire crowd. That's the entire audience. How powerful is he? I can only assume Katara must have been there to take him down, because she could bend her own blood and stop him.
Have you news of Avatar Korra?
We do. You kidnapped her.
Thank you.
I am shocked you would accuse me of such an evil act.
Kunlun sense if he's lying.
But there were no chi blockers here last night. You planted the evidence, didn't you?
Yes, he did.
That is a ridiculous accusation.
Get him fired.
True. He took her.
Yay, go on!
When Avatar Korra arrived last night, Councilman Tarlok ordered me to leave.
You didn't?
I was on my way out when I saw Tarlok bring her down to the garage.
With bloodbending.
Say goodbye to Republic.
He didn't see... Okay, you don't see bloodbending. Good. You didn't see bloodbending. So you saw. Good. Please run for your life before you die.
Everyone knows you're nothing but a squeaky-voiced liar.
Why did you wait until now to...
Scared?
I was terrified to tell because Tarlok is a bloodbender. He bloodbends Avatar Korra.
Okay, you saw it!
Don't make this worse for yourself.
No, you're not prepared. You're not prepared.
You have Korra.
You're not prepared to fight this. Is he gonna do it now? Is he exposed now? Great. Yep. And he can do it to everyone as well. Okay, yeah, this bending is so overpowered. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing. And passed out. Great. Is he gonna kidnap all of them too? Or legging it? Okay, he's done. Because they're gonna wake up and then... Okay, so he just can't go back to the government. That's good. But would the chief of police still respond to him?
Wake up.
No. Okay, you're all up. Good. And you haven't been captured. He hasn't caught anyone here. You're good.
Tarlok is long gone. I'll alert the whole force.
Oh, okay, so you're turning on him. Good. That's kind of good for him.
Maybe we can still pick up Tarlok's trail.
It could lead us to Korra. Let's go.
And the polar bear dog. Don't forget about that. How did you get out of it? It has to have been Katara. Oh, it's so... Oh, this is so creepy. And you made her unlock cuffs. He's not even using his hands that much. That is incredibly powerful.
Cone, you won't get away with this.
What can you do?
Republic City is mine, Avatar.
You took it over.
I'll be back one day to claim it.
Back one day, you left? Wait, so they didn't even stop him? Okay, angry glowing adult Aang. Awesome. Wait, so can you stop him though? What can you do? Okay, cut the binds. But is there like a range thing? Can you stay out of range from it? Because he was able to control the whole room. If you stay far enough away, maybe that could do something. Back up! Nope. Where is Katara?
This time I'm gonna put you to sleep for good.
Oh dear! I don't want to see people. No, no, you can't. They're twisting too much! Katara, please! Oh, I hate this so much. What? Can he not bend blood of the Avatar state?
I'm taking away your bending for good.
Okay, that's how you solved the issue. Awesome. Yep, that was deserved. That was good, yes. Interesting, the Avatar state can actually... So does that mean what Korra has to do? Does she have to master the Avatar state to be able to defeat the Blood Tarlok? But then, or maybe you could just use Aman to do it.
My life is a disaster now. Thanks to you.
You're stupid.
And I know how you bloodbent me without a full moon. You're Yakone's son.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that seems obvious now.
But in order to win Republic City, I had to become someone else.
Yeah, because you are very different.
Because he tried to rule the city from its rotten underbelly.
And you... Oh, and you chose the government! Okay, that's very good.
I was to be the city's savior. But you ruined everything.
So, oh, he has a savior complex. So that explains everything with the whole Aman thing. Just let the thing escalate so he can look like the hero.
You'll never get away with this!
But you can't really keep the avatars. Okay! What now? Work together. Can Korra and Aman work together?
It's time for you to be equalized.
Really? Take away the blood bending.
You've never faced bending like mine.
What is happening? Okay, you're immune? Not. Oh dear, how?
I am the solution.
Okay, and you're taking him, are you gonna solve a big issue already? They actually do it, didn't actually see it. They're good. Did you do that?
Electrocute the box to knock her out.
Ow! Levitate, maybe? What can you do? Jump, jump, jump! I don't know how you can survive. How can you avoid being knocked out? Okay, go on, use your brains, finally! Good thing you are wearing some rubber stuff.
Open the box.
Now, go nuts.
Tie her up.
Yes! Okay, go, destroy them. Amazing, I feel like that's smarter use of bending. You just took them all out, go for the bigger one. You don't need to waste your time just to punch people. Okay, there's still episodes left. This feels like it's done a lot so quickly. Wait, snow bending. He's going after her. What do you want to do? Do you want to take her bending now? You got away. You were smart. You chose to get away.
I told you not to underestimate her.
I'm so happy. You were smart. You chose not to fight. You're weak, and it makes so much sense. Thank you, Korra. Thank you. When I covered in snow. Where's the dog, though? Where's the dog? Where would Tarlok be keeping that? Okay, here you are. What were you... Wait, have you been tracking her this whole time? Tarlok didn't get the dog, so you've just been following her.
Came looking for me. Good girl.
Oh, amazing. The music feels so somber. It's so good. Now try and reunite, but okay. I'm so lost. That's just you've taken the whole bloodbending thing. Is that over now? What? Why? Okay, that's ended, I guess.
How did you get away? Give her some space.
Oh, poor Sammy. It's getting so deep into the relationship stuff.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. I'm glad you're here.
I just feel bad for Sammy. Maybe if Sammy can be with Bolin or something, I don't know. Okay, ending that episode was just crazy. Okay, right, so this episode is somehow even crazier than the last. So I'm just shocked that Tarlok has been taken care of so quickly. Maybe he hasn't been. We didn't technically see it happen. I don't know. I feel like since we haven't seen him like directly do it like we've seen others, I feel like there's a chance that there could be a misdirect. It would feel so odd to build him up in the last episodes like they did, just to have him done now. So no waterbending, no bloodbending, just gone. Especially with the whole Hako, the other guy. Why would Aang need to send that message if Korra was never going to have to use it? But yeah, so much interesting stuff came from this. So we finally get to see what Lin is doing and how she's being vigilante and how she's helping the city. It's so cool to see Tenzin, I guess, work with her. I would have expected him to be more in the bureaucracy side of stuff. So you'd have Lin being on the ground doing the vigilante work while Tenzin works within the government doing everything legally. But just seeing them work together was like a fun surprise to me. But then you had the whole Asami and Mako and Bolin, that side of things. That was mainly a lot of their whole purpose here was to do relationship stuff, which is, I guess, it was there. I can't say I'm happy with it. I don't like that sort of stuff. It's just messy and it just makes me feel bad for everyone involved. Yeah, so obviously Mako and Korra, they're probably going to become a thing. Asami's going to get hurt, which is just lovely to think about. And that's just like a side plot. And it's like those types of plots are just painful. And I would rather just get into the story of everything because that's insane. I feel like the relationship stuff is almost unnecessary. But yeah, so Tarlok, Aman, and Korra. Korra spent the episode meditating, which is awesome. She hasn't actually done that yet. So now she's actually done it properly on her own, concentrating in a metal box. It's surprising that she had to be able to, she had to basically be imprisoned to get meditation started. So in her most confined and non-free state, she's actually started to get into the more spiritual stuff. She's actually had to go into the reverse of trying to find freedom and actually just confine herself to be able to do it, which is very interesting. Yeah, so we finally saw the vision, got to see everything that happened, and it's so much worse than I imagined, because it just looked like, I guess, you had the bloodbender in the trial, so he was on trial, and he was bloodbending Aang's hand and Toph. That's all I saw. Now it's the entire room. The city council, which Sokka is a part of, love that for him. And now this guy, Hakone, is just going nuts with everything. And he is the father of Tarlok, which explains so much and it adds so much to Tarlok's character, being a savior complex. So I'm assuming he doesn't quite like his father, probably ashamed of him. And no, it's about power. What is it about? Tarlok wants to be seen as a savior and a good guy. He wants to save the city and clear his name because he can't exist with being related to Hakone. So he changed his name, changed his identity to become someone better. And because he was so ashamed of his past, he had to become better by going through all the legal systems and hiding his bloodbending and wanted to be seen as the savior to finally get over the trauma his father caused him. So he basically kind of helped Aman and helped the division, so that it gets to a point so bad that then Tarlok, I guess, assumed he'd be able to deal with it easily by bloodbending Aman, and that's how he'd take care of it all. And then he'd be seen as the saviour of the city, he'd reinstall everything, the Equalists be gone, he'd be seen as the hero. It's a very misguided notion, but it just shows how messed up the guy is and how crazy he kind of is. And all because of his father being a bloodbender. But it's very interesting on, I guess, the lore of this, what happened after Aang, or what happened after the Last Airbender show, because we only saw one bloodbender, and that was Hama. I guess we had Katara, but she never really used it. She used it on some firebending people, so maybe they spread the word about it and got maybe fearmongered it. But it almost makes me think that there may have been other instances with bloodbending. The world would have grown, it would have gotten more connected. I would not be surprised if it popped up again. If the power exists, other people probably got to use it too. Like, just knowing about it would have made people try and do it. Hama learned it because of the extreme circumstances she was in. Then knowledge would have spread, especially with Katara using against others. Those people would have spread it, and then with the connections that everyone made with Republic City, other people would have learned about bloodbending too, including waterbenders. They would have tried it and figured out, oh, they can do it. Without actually knowing about it, they would have never tried it to begin with. They never were in a situation where they needed to bend the water inside someone. I do think that others came before Hakone and after Hama, and that's what made it illegal. I don't think it was just automatically thrown out illegal during the creation of the city, because I think, honestly, they probably would have forgotten about Hama. She probably would have died by then. They would have thought that bloodbending would have died with her, and Katara would have been the last one. Why make it legal when you know the one person that can do it isn't going to use it? But yeah, so it's clear that the power has grown incredibly with the fact that Hakone and Tark both are able to do it not during a full moon, and any other time. So that means during the day, like we saw with Tarlok, he did it during the day when he was against the main group of people, but they deliberately avoided to do it on a full moon. That makes me think that other things happen then. Can they not use it on a full moon? Is like a reverse thing from Hammer? We know he can waterbend, so it's not like he can't waterbend and he can just only bloodbend and only when it's not a full moon. But something weird is going on under the full moon. I want that to be explored desperately. But yeah, the fact that this basically set up a solution for how to deal with him. The Avatar state seems to be immune to bloodbending. That's what Aang did. It looked like he was about to be killed with all the twisting and turning. This is definitely taking a darker turn than the Avatar The Last Airbender, which I'm loving, with just how grotesque bloodbending appears. But yeah, the solution is Avatar state and then taking away the bending. That's what you need to do. So Avatar state makes it immune, but Korra doesn't know how to take away bending yet. And so Aman does it. But now it seems like the problem is solved. Aman's done it. You don't have to worry about bloodbending anymore. So Korra doesn't have to learn to do the Avatar thing. She doesn't have to learn to take away bending unless it is a misdirect and something else is happening there. Like maybe it's a misdirect. Maybe Aman just knocked out Tarlok in order to try and convince him to join his side so that he can use his abilities. Maybe Aman is somehow so masterful at this that he only took away Tarlok's water bending, so he can only bloodbend. So he technically did take away the bending, but leaving him with the bending ability that would be most useful to Aman. Imagine Aman being able to control people so easily to then be able to take away their bending without any without any pushback, with any fighting involved. He's already so capable, but on such a wide scale as these benders are proving to be, it would be so powerful to him to get that sort of bending under his command. I would not be surprised if it is a misdirect and something is going on there. Because Aman just coming out and being able and just taking away the bending, as awesome as it seems, he's still an enemy of Korra. He didn't try and work with her, he didn't try and free her, he still tried to electrocute her. It makes me so concerned for whatever it is he's doing now. Because, yeah, so focusing on Aman, he has crossed the line. He took away the bending of the police force, who, they were just soldiers under Lin. That's what they were. They did not do anything evil with their bending, they were upholding the law of the city. That is not up to them. The other people Aman has taken bending away from were criminals and bullies. These guys were not that. You can't really... Would all of Lin's police force be like bad police officers who abuse their power? I doubt it. I mean, that could be it, but that's giving Aman so much benefit of the doubt, which I'm not going to do. I feel like that is definitely over the line. Aman has crossed into villainy, where he's taking away helpless prisoners' bending. Yeah, then at the ending, he wanted Korra captured. That's what he wanted. And he might have taken away Tarlok's bending. I don't believe so. I don't see that happening with all the build-up they're doing with how Korra can solve the issue. Yeah, he's even captured Tarlok. He didn't leave him there. He took him with him. So that means he has another use for Tarlok, aside from just taking away his bending. He either wants to send a message, bring him back to the city, show that he's taken away the person's bending that's caused, or yeah, that would be another good thing. Tarlok is now the face of people that are against non-benders. He was the one that put the law forward and got approved for the segregation stuff. So if a man shows up with Tarlok unable to bend, that would probably convince every single non-bender in the city to join him, which is kind of disastrous in itself. But then I feel like Aman could still make use of the bloodbending. I don't know. But yeah, then I guess the thing that I'm most happy with about this episode is the development it gave to Korra. We're finally seeing something, and it's through her actions. She isn't, especially with just everything about it, her being able to meditate, connect with Aang, and I guess connect with Aang is not as connecting as I wanted it to be. I want Aang to actually be there in person or as spirit and talk to her and have a conversation. Like Aang did with Roku. It would be incredible if next season, maybe at the end of the season, she gets the spiritual stuff. And then maybe next season, Aang can be her guide. I would love that so much. The same way Roku was the guide to Aang. The previous Avatar teaching the next one. It's perfect. It's a perfect system. But yeah, so she spent the entire episode meditating and being calm, not fighting. Amazing, because yeah, she started it fighting and trying to punch out the door and the cage. She couldn't, so she had to meditate. And then after it, she actually listened to the conversation. She wasn't trying to punch. She wasn't trying to insult and boast and say, oh yeah, you try it, I'm going to beat you up. She just listened, stayed calm, thought about what she was wearing and saw that it was insulated, used it to hang on and avoid being electrocuted, played dead, and first off, blinded her opponents when they opened the door, and bent the earth beneath their feet to knock them down. It wasn't just straight up jump out, punch, 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 try and overpower them. She did it as quickly as possible in the most effective ways. That is perfect for her. And then when she actually got out and faced Aman, she didn't try and fight him. She just tried to slow him down and get away. It's development, and it makes me so happy. And I hope that this sticks now, because Korra seems like a very headstrong character, and this could be something so good. I doubt that it fully is done, because it would be a drastic change for her. Her whole personality is boastful and sort of earthbendery. Earthbender doesn't really run from a fight. That's what Korra does. I doubt that this will be her be-all and end-all personality now. I would assume that she will still go back and forth, I guess. But I'm just happy that it's happened, and that she actually has thought her way through this, because hopefully she can just grow from here. This like of course, this scenario was dire. She had to do it. She can't afford to be punchy and insulting and stuff like this. She can't use her words. She has to get away because of how injured she is. So I assume when the situation presents itself, she's going to go back to being a bit more normal Korra, and when situations get dire, she'll revert back to this again. Yeah, I'm just so happy with this episode. It did so much with the past, with Korra's development, Tarlok, and just really setting out whatever's to come in a very interesting way. I'm so confused on what is meant to happen next. Amon has his war declared. He's taken out, I guess, the most powerful person in the city. Well, most powerful leader in the city, being Tarlok. Next person on his list would be Korra, the Avatar. Use Tarlok to show off, to basically get every non-bender on his side, then he can go after the Avatar. Because the non-benders would still see Korra as a good guy. But now, we're getting them. Now, there's something that needs to be in between. He has to make Korra seem like a villain to be able to take her bending away. Otherwise, she'd only be seen as a martyr. To begin, this episode was so good. Just seeing everything it managed to do, I'm so happy with. Korra finally getting development. I've been waiting for this for so long, and now she's actually gotten the thing that I've wanted. She's actually thinking things through and being calm, and actually using her power to do a good, creative, and smart solution. She's thinking about the problem before acting on it. Like, this whole episode basically forces her to develop. Being trapped in the box, she has nothing to do but meditate. That's it. And it's interesting that the whole idea of this season is that Korra was trapped for her entire life. So that's why she wasn't able to connect with her spirits or airbending, because she's never felt freedom. Now, the one time she gets closest to it, she's trapped in a box. Like, the most imprisoned she can possibly be, that's when she hits her meditation. And like, spiritual awakening. It's definitely a different approach. I'm assuming it comes from the freedom. It's not like freedom as you'd just typically think. My guess is the freedom from her is almost freedom from her personality. So brash and out and sort of jumping into things and not thinking things through. It's the freedom of her trying to constantly, I guess, maybe fill every second with something. Now she is forced to basically sit with her thoughts. I'm assuming that's something she just hasn't been able to do because she's always been filled with different training, with different stuff to do. She's never actually had a moment to herself. This box allowed her to do it. And it was a freedom from herself. That's it. She was her own problem because she's constantly trying to be all these different things. Live up to Aang's legacy. Find herself and what she is meant to be doing in this world. Trying to find herself in her role in Republic City. This box allowed her to escape all of it and actually find freedom. And it's so weird in how it managed to do it. And then the other point of development this gave her is just being creative and smart. Because so far, we haven't gotten to see a scene where she'd been able to use her brains to solve a problem. Now, this was amazing in just how it did it. She saw that on her wrist is some kind of insulative material, which makes sense. It's North Pole, so that it'd wear warm clothes. Insulative, but that's heat insulation, not electricity insulation. I guess it's just lucky that she has a bit of clothes on her body that is electricity insulative. So that's something. And it's good that she used it to actually avoid this. Because she's actually sitting, listening to the bad guys, listening to what they're saying, what they're planning to do, and she is able to avoid it, play along, and just the combat scenario as well, I'm so happy with. She did 3 moves, basically, in that entire fight. All of it was to try and escape, and do it as quickly as possible. The first one, firebending right out of the door, that was to blind her opponents, to dazzle them. Such a bright light to basically make them lose their footing and to shock them. Then earthbending to topple them and get them off their feet so that they need to take a second to get up. Then she runs out of the room while they're on the ground, sees Amon, bends the snow into ice shards, which could be just trying to attack her, but none of them hit him. She could have probably lodged a giant ice shard at him and he would have probably avoided it, but she used it to make him zigzag and move out the way so he couldn't make a beeline for her, giving her a chance to escape. It's so good that she used all of those moves to actually leave and not try and fight. I'm just happy that she can now sort of judge between whether or not to fight or whether or not to stay, because that's such an important lesson, and it's good that she's finally, I guess, learnt it. Then Tarlok, he is very interesting. The last episode, I'm just interested in how this is almost flip-flopped on his development. And it's not in a bad way, it's just misdirection. First off, in the last episode, he was set up to be an incredible villain, just with how he's climbed the ladder of the government, introduced all 4 laws, and is a bloodbender on top of everything. And it almost felt like he was going to become the next villain of the show and be that sort of go head-to-head with Amon being the more reasonable one that you could try and reason with, and then Tarlok being the one that just wants power. This kind of flipped that on its head, with Tarlok being exposed right after that episode, and him going from such a powerful figure to losing all of his power, being exposed in the government, then having his bending taken away. It's just very interesting that they've switched it up so fast. I don't think it's the end for him, especially with the vision. The vision is there for a reason. That would not be the case if Tarlok had lost his bending. Otherwise, Korra would not need the vision. That would become useless. There's definitely something left with Tarlok that they still need the defense against bloodbending with. But I do like that this gave us more info on his character, just getting to find out why he is the way he is. That his father was Hakone, who was a crime lord who wanted to rule the city by taking advantage of the underworld. And he used bloodbending to get his way, and eventually got discovered because there were a bunch of eyewitnesses, but it was never believed because it was never on a full moon. I'm guessing that could be why. So just to create doubt. Oh, it wasn't on a full moon. They must be lying. They must have seen things. We all know bloodbending can only happen on a full moon. That's probably how he got away with it, but it also makes me think that maybe there's another reason why he avoided using it on a full moon. Like, is there... Because we know it makes waterbenders unbelievably powerful, so maybe it makes him even more powerful, or it does something uncomfortable. Maybe it makes him... I wouldn't be surprised if it makes him aware of every blood cell in his body, and it makes it to a point where it's just uncomfortable to bloodbend, where it's just so powerful that he even maybe accidentally can bend his own blood at that point, like without wanting to. Yeah, so this father basically got himself exposed in the city, made him public enemy number 1 because of his abilities, still think that there's probably bloodbenders before him, which is why it was made illegal, because that just makes sense. You wouldn't make a law out for a dead woman or Katara who's not going to use it. You would either expect people to have it and for it to come back, or you had incidences in the past which you need to make sure doesn't happen again. Yeah, Tarlok carries so much shame with him because of his father. He can't have an actual normal life because of what Hakone has done and what he's known for. So he changed his identity, changed his name, became part of... Hakone. I need more information, because Tarlok says he's from the Northern Water Tribe. Is that true, or is it not? Waterbender, yes, so it would work, it makes sense, but what about Hakone? Was he from Republic City? Like, what is happening there? Are they actually from the North Water Tribe, or is there, like, something else going on? Feels like there's definitely more information to dive into, which probably does mean Tarlok is not done. But yeah, his whole character is built on the shame that he got from his father, changing his identity to try and get this savior complex. He saw that his family legacy was awful because of what his father did, so he completely changed who he was because he couldn't exist as who he was. So he changed it all, became Tarlok, who that could be even a fake name, just to distance himself from Hakone. He changed his identity, worked his way up through the government of Republic City, hiding his bloodbending, to become a savior, to look for an opportunity where he could finally make a name for himself, to set him aside from his father, to be seen as good compared to what his father was seen as. And that is what led into allowing for Amon to get more power, or not allowing, but more like allowing for the conflict to rise and get worse so that he could be seen as the good guy when he fixes it all, which he never got the chance to do. Korra got in the way. I'm assuming he wanted it to get fully out of hand, so then he could go fight Amon and beat him with bloodbending. That was going to be it, but that was like a failsafe. He must have thought that was the bending that Amon just couldn't touch, and because he could just control Amon's body. Amon wouldn't be able to stand a chance. That was what he was going to do to take down Amon, maybe kill him so Amon couldn't speak about the bloodbending thing, and then he'd be seen as a hero forever and ever, completely destroying the legacy of his past, and he could move on. But then Korra got in the way, destroyed it all, and everything's just come crumbling apart now. So what is he left to do? He is almost maybe embrace the villainy. That's kind of his only option now. Be what everyone expects him to be, the bloodbender, the evil puppeteer. Like, he can't really redeem himself from this. Yet then Amon, the scene stealer as ever, appearing at the end, completely taking down Tarlok. So many interesting things happening there, and I've got so many questions about it. He was able to resist Tarlok's bloodbending. That is insane. Only person who's been able to do that was Katara. And that's because she could bend her own blood. Either that means maybe Amon is a bender and maybe he can do it as well, who knows? Or maybe he has some kind of technology that blocks out blood bending. That might work. Because if he is this like incredible person who's able to, the enemy of all bending, you would want a solution to every type of bending that's ever existed. You'd want maybe conductive stuff to get away the lightning and just redirect it. You want fireproof material to stop firebending. You made platinum, which stops metal bending. And it maybe makes sense to make something to block bloodbending. Or he's like Katara. That's like the only time someone's been able to resist bloodbending, and that happens again. I don't know, because Aman is a weird case. I need more information on how he's been able to do that. But until then, so now we know he's able to resist bloodbending, and he's just this unstoppable force in every single aspect. And then he did take Tarlok's bending, or maybe he didn't. We didn't actually see. Could have just as easily whacked him across the head and knocked him out. Don't quite know. We didn't see the finger on the forehead. I feel like the whacking him on the back of the neck probably would have created the same reaction in Tarlok as taking away the bending. And then he kidnapped him. Why does he need to and I guess there is reason to kidnap him even if he did take the bending away. And that's just to display around the city to show, to get all the non-benders on his side. But it's such a big misdirect and change for Tarlok and what Aman is doing. So Aman is definitely a villain now. He's taken away the bending of the police people that we don't see do anything wrong. Of course they might have, but that's to read into. But right now, you can't really look at the benefit of doubt for Aman. He's taken away innocent people's bending that weren't abusing it, or at least what we don't know were abusing it. So he's definitely stepped his foot into the full-on villainy. So he is a full-on bad guy, unreasonable, wants to take away all bending. Which maybe you can use that, no, because he's kind of used that to take down Tarlok. So now, Korra has to try and figure out a way to take down Aman. And it has to be a intellectual way. You can't beat him. We've already seen that you can't beat him, and he can take away your bending. It would be very dangerous to get close to that. You know, I think this just sets up so many interesting avenues now. Aman is just full of surprises. And we finally get to see Lin again. I'm so happy with her. She's got to be one of my favourite characters from this show. Seeing all the Toph stuff happen, the tunnel making, the like vibration location stuff. So awesome. And just seeing her like so focused and dedicated in her work. I just love her as a character. Her going through all of this to find her men, the people that she was meant to protect. She did not rest until she found them. She's injured, she should be in a hospital, and yet she got out and went to go find them. I love her character. Hopefully she will be reinstated as chief of police because since Tarlok is gone, but then maybe you need the other guy to mess up because you can't really fire him without him doing something wrong. But you still want, I would want Lin to be reinstated and have her, like, I guess, honor back. Is it honorable? I want her to have her job back. It seems like it's something she enjoyed doing, so give it her back. But I just love how she's working with the group, and she does feel like one of these characters now, like Tenzin, because you have the main group who are all the same age, then you have the adults who are like kind of separate, but I like how in the group they feel, and just like Lin's involvement with it. She's just such an awesome fighter and so powerful, and I feel like she would be a great mentor to Korra as well as Tenzin. So I just love that she's having such an active role within the group. And Tenzin honestly surprised me in this. I thought he was going to take the more bureaucratic approach, deal with the situation as a politician, as a council person, and do it the legal way instead of going with Lin and doing this stuff with her. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. He has attachments to these people, so of course he wants to go and help them. And I guess that is a good thing. It does, because it's interesting to me, because I would have thought it would have been an interesting mirror to show Lin being the vigilante side of things, Tenzin covering for her and covering for everyone else, being on the legal side of things, trying to convince the other politicians to go against Tarlok and do all this stuff and take it from a legal standpoint, but they're all going vigilante mode and all going to save the day. At the end of this, they're going to have to use the law to fix things in the city, because right now there is a law in place that segregates people, so they are going to have to take a lawful approach to this at some point. And Tenzin is the best fit for it, so in this opportunity where he could have been sort of taking the legal approach to helping them, he didn't. But then again, I do like him being on the vigilante side of things. It's interesting. He's a very interesting character, and I guess I like his versatility. He can be in the political side of stuff, and he can be on the vigilante side of stuff. It's like a good balance of both Aang and Katara. I'd assume Katara is still very headstrong when she is a mother, and like when she's an adult, and now she probably would jump into a fight and protect her children or something, and then Aang, being the avatar, takes the more reasonable and legal approaches, while Katara is the more fighter. So then Tenzin has those traits from both of them. Like Katara would be very snappy from time to time, and then Aang would be the more reserved approach, leaving violence to last. So Tenzin has that sort of stuff in him, where he's got a good balance between them. Then we have the group stuff, where their whole thing was basically the relationship dynamic. It was the relationship stuff. That was their entire purpose of this episode. Asami, Bolin, and Mako, they were only there because of relationship drama, which is just kind of disappointing to me. I mean, yes, the relationship drama can be done well, but you can also have them involved in the plot. If you got rid of them, it's basically, you could do everything with just Tenzin and Lin. Their only thing here was for the relationship stuff. I'm not invested in the relationship drama. It doesn't interest me. I think it's just because relationship drama is quite predictable, because now you can see that Asami has now been hurt by the whole Mako and Korra thing, and it looks like that Korra and Mako are going to get together at the end of this, leaving Asami to be hurt and alone, and that just creates more rifts in the group. And it feels like every rift that can be in the group is going to be centered along relationships, when there could be very clear other things. We saw in Avatar The Last Airbender, there were so many different types of conflicts you can have within the group, like Katara and Toph being the whole, Katara being a parental figure, Toph being the independent child. That relationship, that conflict was brilliant. Now I feel like all of the ones in here are going to be about relationship troubles, and that kind of bums me out. I really want to see different types of conflicts within this group that don't have to be relationship focused. But it seems like so far this season it's mainly all relationship focused. I just have to say, I just love how this episode was written with the other stuff, I guess aside from the relationship teasing stuff. Like the misdirect with Tarlok, Aman showing up at the end, and actually changing it from setting up Tarlok to be this very powerful figure to immediately taking that all away. It leaves me in a position where I'm not really sure what to think. I was fully on board with like Tarlok and Aman going head to head and those two versus each other, while Korra is kind of in the middle trying to figure out what to do. Having a bending supremacist versus a non-bending supremacist, and actually having those going head to head, and then Korra being the bridge between benders and non-benders. What do you do there? But now, it's like pulled the rug out from under me, and I'm not quite sure what to think of where this can go now. Tarlok being gone, having Aman take centre stage as the villain now. What do you do here? How can you beat him? He's beaten Tarlok, who was basically his perfect match, or you would think his perfect match. And then I guess you have the teasing with the vision. Like, what can that mean now if Tarlok has been taken out of the picture? This episode has done a great job at just making me unable to predict where this can go. I do love how unpredictable it's just made it. But as for what's next, I cannot tell. I feel like Aman is definitely now taking the centre stage as the villain. Korra has to figure out a way to go against him. But how? What can she do? It has to be an intellectual or creative way to go against him. You can't beat him because he's basically an idea. He is the embodiment of an idea. You can't, if you take him down, you still have the idea to deal with. He has followers that choose to go along with him. You beat him, he's going to become a martyr for everyone else. What can you do in that situation? And I feel like it leaves it in such a tricky position, and I cannot wait to see how they do solve that. But yeah, overall, I really did love this episode. This was so good, and all the things it did with the plot, Korra's character development, Lin and Tenzin's role in this. The only thing that I'm a bit amiss about is Asami, Bolin, and Mako's role in this, because if you remove them, it doesn't really change. Their whole purpose here is to set up more relationship drama, which I just think is a shame. If they did that alongside with giving them important things to do in this episode where they develop and do other things. I mean, yes, they did help out getting with Lin, getting her men out of prison. That is something, but it's more Lin's thing rather than any of theirs. I would much prefer if they can try and find a way to have the relationship stuff alongside individual character growth. Because right now that isn't really happening for Bolin and Mako. Their whole, like, what is happening with them? We've had pro-bending, which defined them. That's gone. And now they've just jumped in with Korra's world. Like, why? Is that just out of obligation for Korra? Is it something they actually want to do? I don't know why they're going along with Korra at all. Is it just to thank her for giving them a house? Or giving them some place to stay as out of friendship? What is the actual... if that is the case, then I guess, fine, but it's not really that deep. Did they have a better connection to go along with this conflict and actually try and help? I just feel like after pro-bending, there's been nothing for these two to do, and it's kind of a shame, because they're good characters, and they are quite deep with their past and trauma and how they relate to Aman, but they haven't really given me a good reason to invest in why they are fighting this fight. There are plenty of other benders who probably have tragic pasts that aren't doing this stuff, but like Korra's connection with Aman is because of her desire to be an avatar and to live up to Aang's legacy and try and figure her place out in the world. Aman is the basically first obstacle that the avatar would have to face. Her is out of obligation, and also she wants to prove herself. And she has this giant fear surrounding Aman, so giving her a great personal connection to this villain. Tenzin and Lin are trying to keep the city together. It's their job to take down Aman. Bolin, Mako, they're just kind of... they don't have that strong of a connection to him. Asami, her father is involved in all of this. That creates a stronger connection for her than there is for Bolin and Mako. I mean, I guess you can say that Aman destroyed the pro-bending tournament and they're kind of home, so that's kind of it, but it's not as deep and a better connection as the rest of the characters, and I'm just hoping that there will be something that brings them more in line with it. Because like with the episode that it did take down the pro-bending stuff, it was more focused on Korra and her inability to beat Amon, rather than focusing on Mako and Bolin losing their home and losing everything. That was kind of touched on in the episode after it, where it loses some of its impact. See, I'm just hoping that we get an episode to focus on Mako and Bolin. What is their stake in this conflict? Why are they involved with it? But aside from that, this episode was really good and just dealing with everything it did. Like, I got so many questions now about Amon and the bloodbending thing and how that connects, how the vision will connect to everything now, how Amon was able to resist bloodbending. And I definitely want to see Korra's relationship with Aang grow as well, considering this was basically the first step. She's connected with him, and now maybe from there it can grow, and maybe we can even see them having a conversation soon. But yeah, with that said, that does bring me to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments, and with that, I will see you in episode 10. See ya!